ICE is getting electric shock gloves. And because we're all governed by idiots, the gloves are called GLOVE, like in a G.I. Joe cartoon. All right.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents and officers soon may be equipped with gloves that deliver electric shocks. ICE is planning to spend up to $20 million to buy them. The manufacturer says that they are intended to de-escalate encounters.
Oh, yeah.
CNN's Brian Todd is here in the Situation Room. Brian, tell us more about these gloves.
Yeah, no potential for controversy here, right, yeah. Pamela? As Pamela mentioned, ICE is planning to spend $10 to $20 million for purchasing these gloves. It is called, quote, the
It's going to end up being over $100 million.
TG5 glove, and glove is an acronym. You see gloves that are very similar to the
Also, these won't even work.
That they're going to be used. Those are from the company's website. GLOVE stands for Generated Low Output Voltage Emitter. Manufacturer Compliant Technology says these gloves are designed to de-escalate encounters with people. They can deliver a maximum voltage of up to 380 volts at a time. According to the manufacturer, that would, quote, inhibit and distract the subject from performing coordinated muscle movement, end quote. Now, according to the user's manual, no more than 2 of these gloves should be applied to a person at one time. They should not be used for more than 15 seconds at a time. Company officials and distributors say they can end a struggle in 3 seconds or less. There is video that
I don't expect this is going to make much of a difference. The United States, certainly through federal contracting, is not capable of producing anything. These are going to be like regular Costco rubber gloves with show magician trick electric buzzers duct taped onto them. Like the whole point of this is to fleece money off the government. Why actually build a working product?
We've had, we can show you here.
Also, we already have tasers. Tasers already exist. The technology already exists. A taser does this, but from a greater distance, making it objectively superior.
The company president actually demonstrating this on a subject, and look, he does take him down there in about 3 seconds or less, and the gentleman there on the ground is a little bit shocked, but he is able to get up. One of the things, a couple of things that you have to know about these things, they do not go through hair or clothing. They have to be applied directly to the skin.
Jesus Christ.
So that's one of the possible restrictions there of this thing, and the company is warning.
All right, that's pretty funny.
That they should not be used on high-risk individuals like pregnant women, elderly people, small children, and severely disabled people. They should not be used for more than 15 seconds. Yes.
I mean, how in a moment, how would an ICE agent know if someone had a disability or if a woman was in her first trimester of pregnancy
you
or
don't know
whatever the case may be?
That's why this could really be controversial.
But they already have tasers. All of these health concerns already apply to tasers, and cops have had tasers for decades. Tasers are a stronger, more effective version of this. Like, a taser can have a big battery. This can't. It's in a fucking glove. This is literally just a worse... It's just another grift. They're just taking more money from the government.
And I was also thinking about the Alex Preddy death in January. That's in January in Minnesota, right? He's wearing a lot of clothing. They're wearing a lot of...
It's genuinely comical to me the U.S. financialized itself out of the ability to commit mass deportations. Yeah, thank God. You know, it's literally like the Russian government becoming the, well, I guess second only to us, the raped by oligarchs capital of the world. So they try to invade Ukraine. It turns out all their tanks have had gasoline siphoned out of them for drinks for soldiers on base long ago. All the like mid-level officers have already pawned off all the ammunition and filled the, the fucking artillery rounds with dirt. Brilliant stuff, really. Does anyone have that modern Odyssey? I think that Kowalski was the first one to link it, but the abyssal journey undertaken by that one migrant who got schlepped around 57 fucking flights across the American Southwest because ICE exists to waste money. Odyssean, not a
clothing. It wouldn't have necessarily been a factor in that situation. So yes, you don't know if a lady is in her first trimester if you're using this thing.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily you can't necessarily see someone's disability almost immediately if you're using this thing in some cases.
Jews were unlucky. Nazi Germany was not a financialized state. I understand that sounds kind of grim, but you're genuinely not joking. If the modern day, like, corporate captured, financialized government apparatus was in charge back in Nazi Germany, the Holocaust never could have happened because the social will and state involvement in it would have been entirely undercut by a trillion greedy financiers taking every cent they could from every element of the process. If you want an example of how real that is, here's ICE's effort to deport one person.
And I was able to see one sign that says Alexandria. But I had no idea whether it's Alexandria, Florida, Alexandria, Mississippi, Alexandria, no idea at all.
With his help, we traced Della Valle's odyssey through the deportation system. From the U.S. Virgin Islands, ICE flew him to Puerto Rico, then Miami, then bussed him to the Chrome Detention Center outside Miami, then flew him to Alexandria, then back to South Florida and Broward County's Transitional Center, then a bus ride to Alligator Alcatraz in the middle of Florida. After Alligator Alcatraz, ICE sent Carlos back to Chrome near Miami, then up to Broward County, and then to Pompano Beach. A flight to Jacksonville, then a bus ride to Orlando.
They do it on purpose to avoid hearings. Avoiding hearings is a secondary concern. The primary reason is because all of this is extremely expensive, and along the way, ICE gets to waste taxpayer dollars by enriching the thousands of contractors who work with ICE. Just unbelievable numbers. So for one, all of these flights cost money. You have to pay pilots. A lot of those are going to be private contractors. You have to refuel. All of these detention centers, there's private money men undercutting this at every level. The more you waste taxpayer dollars, the more flows upwards. Never to be taxed again, of course, because it's all held in shell companies and, Cayman Islands accounts and so on. They did the same thing with PPE with COVID. Yeah, I mean, the only reason the federal government exists is to steal your money and give it to corporate middlemen.
Then back to Baker Correctional Center in North Florida. Then a flight back to Alexandria and a bus ride to Wynn Correctional. Then a flight out of Alexandria to Port Isabel in Texas and to the border in Brownsville.
It's actually more than what Odysseus had to go through, genuinely. Like, there are more stops on this than he went through in the Odyssey.
Thinking he was being deported, Carlos ended up back on a flight to El Paso, then another flight back to Alexandria, and a bus ride back to Wynn Correctional. One man's experience that we estimated cost taxpayers more than $200,000 in bus and airplane fuel, personnel expenses, pilot cost, and landing and fuel fees.
Guarantee you it was far, far more than that. See, what they're not accounting for is all of the private fleecing in the middle. They're just taking the raw operating costs. When has the government ever paid merely for raw operating costs? We've financialized ourselves out of the ability to do the deportations the Trump administration, promised. The vast majority of people who have deported the United States have done so through self-deportation, That's true, Kowalski. That's true. Great stuff, really. Are you and your partner self-deporting technically? I mean, technically, yeah. I'm leaving the country. Speaking of the whole point being to waste money, this is just at the top of my For You page. Scoop. Trump has directed the Navy to tear out a complex system for launching fighter jets from its aircraft carriers and instead go back to using steam catapults, a move Navy officials have fought for years and will likely cost billions in extra dollars. That's the point. Every time Trump randomly, arbitrarily decides to do something really expensive, and this is, as far as I'm concerned, journalistic malpractice, will likely cost billions in extra dollars, actually translate into the Pentagon will have to enter into new public-private partnerships, contracting private companies for billions of dollars, which is the point. The owners of these private companies were the ones who told Trump to do this. That's the whole point. He's had a fixation for years. That means that people have been paying him to believe this for years. Lobbying? Liberals have no answer to this. Anyway,